Okay guys, C64 Collection 3, is it worth buying for your Super Pocket? Let's have a look at it. Okay guys, so let's have a look at this C64 Collection 3 for the Super Pocket. Now I've already reviewed the full cartridge for Evercade systems, so we're really just looking for any issues that stop this being playable on the Super Pockets. Obviously bearing in mind you've got shoulder buttons, you've got smaller screen, we need to look at some of those issues that might stop it being enjoyable on the little handheld. There's 13 games on here. A decent enough mix. There's some classics such as Paradroid and Boulder Dash. There's a few other decent enough games. There's a few poor games as well. So let's have a look at all the games and I'll look at the details and I'll let you know, is this worth buying for your Super Pocket? Let's find out. Okay guys, jumping straight in, we've got Anarchy. A really cool puzzle style game. Let's jump into one of my saves. So the idea is to sort of clear the grid of all the different coloured blocks that you can see here. You got a fire button and obviously use the D-pad for movement. And there's no massive issues with this game. I think graphically it seems fine. You don't really need to utilise the virtual keypad. Obviously you press the select button to access the virtual keypad, but you don't need to use that in this game. But you will have to do that in a few games on this collection, which I'll highlight once we get to those games. Really cool game. It's all against the time limit, so it does get a little bit frantic in the later levels. But I think this is certainly one of the gems on this collection. It really is a decent game. Gets very difficult right enough, but it's a great little title. I think it's fantastic, and it seems perfectly fine for your Super Pocket. Okay, so let's have a look at Boulder Dash. Certainly a classic from the C64 days. Let's have a look how this performs on the Super Pockets. It's the B button, I think, to get started. You can choose different levels and caves wherever you want to go. But as you can see, it's absolutely fine. So you've got a quota of diamonds to collect to clear the levels. And that's basically it. There's a few different complications as you go right enough in some of the different levels. You can push some of the blocks out of the way. At some points, just need to avoid getting crushed by them, crushed by the diamonds. It's such a cool game, very addictive. It's fantastic that we have this now on Evercade systems, and it's a really cool game for the Super Pocket as well. As you can see, absolutely fine, works great, no massive issues. Don't need to utilise the virtual keyboard either, so I don't see any issues. Absolutely fine, great stuff. Not great gameplay though. Okay, on to Breakdance. Now, this isn't a great game at all. I wouldn't recommend even bothering playing it. But anyway, if you like this sort of thing, here it is, Breakdance. Is there issues on the Super Pocket? Now, right away, you've got a lot of text there. It is very small. I can just about read it, so it's not major, but if you get sort of eyesight problems, you'll probably struggle a little bit here trying to make out the sort of text. It is very small. You've got a few different options of the games to choose. You just use the D-pad to go up and down, and that's basically it. It's not amazing. I think it's a really poor game. You can also play two-player games, but I think on the Super Pocket that's a little bit pointless. I think it's probably about swapping the pocket right enough. It's not like playing at the same time, so it's not really a major problem. But yeah, it doesn't sound great, doesn't look great, gameplay is horrific. Yeah, I don't really enjoy it at all. But anyway, it is what it is. You just copy the dance moves to sort of get rid of them with a combination of up, down, left, right, and obviously doing the little break dance move as well by pressing the button. It's mind-numbing, it's boring. You might like this style of game, but I think this is awful. But it seems to work fine on the Super Pocket. You might have some other issues when you're trying to do the other, like choreographing your own dance move. It gets a little bit fiddly, to be honest, but it seems okay at best on the Super Pocket. I would probably advise avoiding it anyway, because it's terrible. Okay, next up is Cyberdine Warrior, a rather cool sort of run and gun platforming style game where you need to collect or find all the androids on the levels. It's a tough challenge though. Certainly need to utilise those save states. Graphically it's really nice and colourful. You've got a jump button and you've got a sort of fire button. I love that the jump button's been mapped to one of the buttons, because obviously in the game originally you'd have just pressed up, as you can do as well, to jump. So it's pretty cool, nice game, just extremely tough, very challenging. As I said, you're going to have to utilise those save states frequently if you want to make some progress throughout the game, because it is hard as nails. Okay, next up, Cybernoid II. Now this one could be a little bit of a problem, just because a lot of the buttons have been mapped to the shoulder buttons, so it is quite involved. If you played the original Cybernoid on C64 Collection 2, probably, obviously it has the same issues. The buttons have been mapped to the shoulder buttons. Let's have a look at the controls just to give you an idea. You've got A to start the game, select bombs. You get B to fire a special weapon, hold that down. For some of the other buttons, you get select time bombs, select defense shield, select bounce bombs, select the seekers. So basically it's just about, you're not pressing the buttons continually, you're just choosing those different bombs and weapons that you've got available. So it's not a major problem. You just need to obviously realise what buttons do what. So you should be able to get away with it. It's not a major issue, I don't think. You can see I'm just pressing the different buttons at the back to choose them. Maybe at the height of the battle, you'll forget what button you're pressing and it might become a small problem. But I think the same problem would exist on the Super Pockets, or sorry, the EXP or VS as well. It doesn't really matter. So it's fine. It's not like you're continually pressing those shoulder buttons. You're really just sort of selecting the different options that you've got. As you can see at the top sort of corner here, I've got Seekers. Definitely need to cycle between all of these to make the progress, because it is a hard game. I definitely enjoyed the first one. Once you get used to and what you're supposed to do and how the game actually works, it's pretty good. It's just really challenging. Like a lot of the games on this sort of collection, the challenge is extremely steep, but still, it's a good enough game if you're willing to put in that effort and understand how it works. Okay, next up it's Deliverance. This is Stormlord 2, the sequel to the game on C64 Collection 2 perhaps. And it does take a little while to load. This was apparent on EXP as well. You need to utilise the virtual keypad, pressing the select button, and you need to choose the option. You can see what levels you want to actually play. Just choose one and it'll start to load in. Just beware, it does take a little while to actually load. Which isn't ideal, because you're really waiting for a game to load that's not even that good, so a little bit crazy stuff. You think the game's crashed or loading or doing something, I don't know, but it's taken forever. Again, that's not a Super Pocket issue, guys, that happens on the XP as well. Didn't actually show this in the video, which I probably should have, but it's pretty sluggish. And even worse, it's not a great game at all. Graphically it's fine, I mean it works absolutely fine on the Super Pocket. It looks good enough, but it's just not a great game. I think it's a bit frustrating. You're supposed to press up to constantly hover. I don't know how this game works. It's just awful. And you'll die frequently. Yeah, it's just terrible. It's one of those games I think we wish Blaze had just left and not bothered. I'm sure there'll be people out there that'll enjoy it. This particular part here, you just need to wait and keep taking out the enemies that keep coming until the game decides it's time to move on, or you've killed enough enemies. It's tedious, it really is tedious. Okay, next up is Exelon, a rather cool platforming style game. You can just press the button to get started, or you need to utilise the virtual keypad. Press 1 to get started. Hold down the sort of fire button to utilise your grenades. Just press the button once to sort of standard fire. Pretty cool. It does move very slowly. That's not a Super Pocket issue though. That's just how the game is designed. It is cool. I actually like this game. It's certainly one of the better games on the collection. It does get a little bit hard, a little bit frustrating, but it's actually alright. It's nice and colourful. It's quite cool. Certainly very reminiscent of the games of their time. And obviously this was originally a Spectrum game, but it's pretty cool. Okay, on to one of the classics for sure. This is Paradroid, or Heavy Metal Paradroid to be exact. A pretty cool game. You need to find and destroy all the droids on the ship. There's different floors as well that you can go on, and you can see it looks absolutely fine on the Super Pockets. I just sort of put the sound up slightly. I must have notched it down. There's varying strengths of the droids, so you need to bear that in mind. You maybe have to utilise the sort of transfer. So if you hold down the button, you can transfer and take over some of the droids. It's quite tricky. Let's see if I can do one. Let's see. Hold it down the button, just touch them, and then you try and transfer and take over. Just need to look at the colours down the screen there. Try and get more colour on your yellow than the opponent. Easier said than done. I've probably messed this up, to be honest. And I'm going to run out of time. Let's see. I think I've done it. So I've got more yellows than purples, which is the idea on the middle screen there. It's quite hard to actually explain. So you can see now I've upgraded. I'm a different sort of droid. I'm not that powerful, but I've certainly upgraded to a different sort of droid. And then it can maybe take out some of the more powerful droids. But you need to keep making that kind of progress through the game. You see there's no major problems with this game. It works absolutely fine. I think the graphics are fine. There's no massive issues with the texting and stuff. Yep, I would recommend this one. It's a classic. It's very cool. Okay, Jumpman Junor. This is, I think it's the sequel to the game we have on the other collection, just Jumpman. Now, you have to utilise the keypad, press the select button, utilise the keypad, choose your one player, and then you'll have to choose the speed of the game. Now, I think if you choose 1, it's extremely fast. Choose 8, it's extremely slow. So go for 4, it's somewhere in the middle, and it's more or less, I say, normal speed. If you want more a different challenge, then choose the different speed that you want to. But personally, I would say go for 4. It's the normal speed, and it feels more like the original Jumpman. It's more or less the same game, to be honest. Graphically, it's obviously a little bit small. It's not the worst, it's fine. You're obviously collecting the different objects on the screen there, avoiding that sort of thing at the top of the screen there. Not sure what exactly it is, but it's there. It's got some different curiosities. You can't jump from one platform to the other. Like, I can't jump down from here, I'll probably die. You can jump to the same levels. I can jump to a ladder, for example, here. You can't go down a rope for some reason, not sure why. But it's a cool game, it seems fine. It's certainly one of those games that's one of the better games on this collection. It's certainly very challenging though, so beware of that. It gets pretty steep pretty quickly when you get to level 2. Okay, next up is Nether World. This is a sort of shoot 'em up style game, and you need to collect all the diamonds on the level to make progress to the next stage. A nice game, and see, graphically it looks absolutely fine, sounds great. And it's pretty cool. I think this is a nice little game. So another one of those better games on the collection for sure. Just like a lot of the games, the challenge is very steep. Very tough. I've no idea how I had the patience to play some of these games back in the day, because they are so challenging. You didn't have save states back then that we have now. Obviously we're the snowflake generation, I guess. I need save states. But anyway, it's a cool game. Okay, next game is Street Sports Soccer, another game, or another entry into that Street Sports stuff we have on C64 Collections. None of them are particularly amazing, and this one's pretty much more of the same. It's okay, just not amazing. Don't expect a lot, and you won't be disappointed. Just remember what you're choosing here. Don't choose human, you'll be obviously playing against another player, which you'll obviously just sit here and it'll do nothing. It takes a little while to load in. It certainly has a very slow moving game. It's sort of 3 versus 3. You get 2 outfield players each and a goalkeeper. The goalkeeper is absolutely useless. I don't really see the point. You know, I haven't seen the goalkeeper save many shots, to be honest, so the goalkeeper might as well be invisible. But it's okay, I mean, it's fun for a couple of minutes, but as you can probably tell, it's not FIFA at all. It's alright in the Super Pocket though. Okay guys, so up next is Summer Games. Now this one won't be great for the Super Pocket. You obviously need to utilise the keypad to type your name and stuff. And obviously that's meant as a kind of multiplayer game, but by that I mean you need to like pass the joypad past the Super Pocket to the next player type of thing. See here, you need to enter your name, so just choose something, anything does. Press enter. Choose your country, I'll just choose France. Listen to the national anthem. If you've got more players, just keep doing the same till you're obviously got all your players in. Otherwise, if you're playing yourself, just press enter again at this point and you can then play the game and choose your event. or you can play all the events at once. Now, just like the EXP and the other sort of Evercade products, these games utilise a lot of waggling of the D-pad, and that doesn't make any sense for these style games. You need a joystick to play these. It doesn't really work on a D-pad. If I sort of choose cycling, for example, the idea is sort of trying to manoeuvre the D-pad in some kind of motion to make some sort of progress. Use the manual to work out what you're supposed to do, because it's obviously different per event. It's usually a mixture of up, down, left, right, or the sort of fire button on the left here. But yeah, it's a little bit weird. Up and down strokes very slowly. It's painful. It's really better if you had a joystick, to be honest. Doing this nonsense on a D-pad is utterly painful. So bear that in mind. A lot of the other events are the same. Some are okay, like Javelin's not too bad. You don't really need to do too much of that. But doing this for 40 seconds, oh, I just want to die. It's awful. I'm sure some people love this, but me, oh no, please help, no. Okay, last game is Super Cycle, and this one's pretty cool. It's a kind of a super hang-on style game. And graphically, absolutely fine, no massive issues with text. Don't need to utilise the keyboard at any point, I don't think, unless you're inputting your high score name. But other than that, it's absolutely fine, looks great, plays fine, no issues at all. Oh yeah, I've obviously forgot, you need to press the shoulder buttons to go up the gear dip, which is the middle ones. You can see here it goes up nicely by just pressing the sort of shoulder button. No massive issues, so I think it's this one, it's R1 that you need to use to go up the gears. Or the L1 button, it doesn't really matter, one of the two, you can choose either or. Absolutely fine. So it's no major issue. I know utilising the shoulder buttons can be a pain, but it's really just a one press every now and again, so it's no major issue. So it's absolutely fine. Okay guys, so that's the C64 collection on the Super Pocket. I think, as you can see, the games work absolutely fine. There's no massive issues stopping this game from being enjoyable. The same issues are pretty much the same on Super Pockets as you would find on the EXP or the VS. There's some really cool games, there's some really bad games, but I think overall there's some classics here that are probably worth buying this collection for, like Paradroid and obviously Boulder Dash. It's fantastic stuff, and Anarchy was quite cool. There's another few decent games as well, so I would certainly recommend buying this. It probably is the best C64 collection on Evercade, so if you're going to buy one of them, I would probably make it this one. Again guys, thanks very much for watching. We'll catch you again in the next one. Bye for now.